Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Sunray coming at you guys with a video. So I wanted to talk about the truth about transition. And so the reason why I'm making this video, the truth about transition, because we have some people that speak of the great things that come from transition, but what about the trials? What about the testing? What about the constant moving? What about knowing that you trust God, but at the same time having that voice in the back of your head, oh, how much longer do I have until I don't have a roof over my head? And really, what does all of that look like? And so a lot of you know that I started this journey back in 2020. The Lord told me in August, he gave me a vision, and he said, you will be moving to Houston. I thought he said you moving like next day, but obviously it didn't happen until 5 months later. And so when I got to Houston, it was me having to live in Airbnbs, right? And then from Airbnbs, I had a shared apartment. Then from a shared apartment, God blessed me with my apartment. So it was this constant process. But the thing that I noticed is I've become a great packer because the Lord has always had me on the move. Now, there was a period in time when you're transitioning where you think the place God is leading you to, that's the last place. And that's what I thought when I moved to Houston. I'm like, okay, God, this is it. But then September of 2022, the Lord began to speak to me. Well, specifically, the Holy Spirit began to show me addresses that were located in Los Angeles, California. I had never been to LA. I had never seen LA besides in the movies. So I'm not even fully understanding why the Holy Spirit is showing me addresses in California. And then one day I was working on something, and this full revelation came like, oh, wow, you've been talking to me about California for years, but my eyes weren't open. And that's another thing about transition. You don't know a lot of things until it's time for you to know them. I mean, that's how God works in general with revelation, right? But when I say LA has been the thing that has strengthened my faith, that has required me to look, what they say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, like the country folk, like, no, for real. And the truth about transition is that as beautiful as the resulting process is, the in-between is hard. When I first came to LA, y'all, I was moving from place to place every other night or every few nights. And then when I couldn't find a place to stay, I didn't have the money, right? I'm sleeping in my car with Jade. And I'm big, my car little. So you go ahead and math that. But then also, it's like another part of transition is you realize that your only stability is in God. Your only source of stability is in God. Everything else is subject to change. But the only thing that you can trust your stability in is in God. And that was a hard lesson I had to learn. I spent many nights crying, being frustrated, sometimes being angry, because it's like, God, I'm sitting here and I'm serving, but this is what I'm getting served. But then through the process, right? And so today, what prompted me to make this video is because the truth of transition has come up again in my life. A lot of you know that I posted a prophetic word 2 weeks ago that said, within 3 days, blah, blah, blah. Now, in the vision the Lord showed me, I literally was speaking this, prophesying this to other people. I didn't know that the word was for me. And so the place at which we've been blessed to live in, it's like a hotel / long-term stay, right? And so they stopped charging my card. So I just assumed like, oh, okay, like, you know, God's gonna come through, like, because, you know, sometimes God will cause silence because he's doing something. And so Bible study Tuesday was talking about the Fowler. And that very same day, when, I kid you not, traps, as soon as I walked out from the room to go walk Jade after Bible study, there was a letter. And on the letter, it said, within 3 days. What was that prophetic word title? Within 3 days. I started laughing because y'all expected me to pay this. I don't have it, right? But also it says within 3 days. And I looked at God. I said, God, that prophetic word was not for me. So another thing too about transition is it creeps up on you, right? But with that, it's like you have so many uncertainties. And so now, like as me and Jay, like we're just leaving, right? Because I don't have the $2,000 to pay them, right? I don't have that. And so as I'm getting ready to leave, like I packed up our stuff. I said, okay, God, like we got this. We're on a journey. The hotel tells me, hey, we're gonna force charge your card. So that means my only means to buy food, to get gas, to do whatever it is I have to do, now y'all are trying to hinder that. But I believe that God is greater than that. And I'm speaking this on here because I want you guys to know that everybody goes through, right? But the thing is that it's how you steward your transition. It's how you steward your process. Everything in me, I want to break down and cry. I want to tear stuff up. Well, I probably don't want to tear stuff up, but you know how they got them places where you go throw glass and stuff? Like, yes, I feel like doing that right now. Somebody wants to go do one of those things where she's smashing glass. But I also recognize that the greatest revelation that came from these last 3 years of me moving from place to place consistently is that the Lord has shown me that I am his daughter, and that I am kept by him, and that I am kept by him. So there's someone that's going to see this today, and you may be going through the same thing. You can even share your truth about transition below. I encourage you to talk about it, because the more you talk about it, the less shame you feel. I'm friends with a lot of people here. Anywhere I go, I make friends for a lifetime, right? And they were like, well, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you let us know? And I said, well, I thought everybody knew. The thing about shame, and that's why I hate that spirit. The thing about shame is it will cause you to believe that everybody sees that which is unseen, that which you are struggling with. It's a lot of things that you think people see, they just don't see. You're like, oh, they're reacting a little bit different, right? And so, anywho, I'm sharing this because I just wish more people were open about transition, about how it's hard, about how you have to sleep in your car. For some people, they aren't even fortunate to have a car, right? Or how sometimes you have to sit there and continue to encourage, continue. And it's not you're doing it from a fake place. No, you're doing it because you love the Lord and you love the people that you serve. But at the same time, the weight that you bear, right? Talking about that, but also talking about how when you shift your perspective, I can say this time around, us leaving and not knowing what's happening next, it's different for me. And the reason why I say it's different is because of the knowledge I learned from going through it the first time. And it's applying what you've learned. I'm going to continue praising God. I'm going to continue worshiping God. I'm going to continue showing up to everything it is, because I've had past seasons where what I went through has taken me out. But this is a season. God said this is my winning season. And winning looks like you have to go against battles like this. And so today I want to encourage someone, be truthful about your transition. You never know who has your next yes. You never know who has the key to open up that next door for you. But also, more importantly, it's because the Lord shall be glorified through everything it is that you're going through. This process, like, trust me, one day money won't even be a concern. One day having a place to stay won't even be a concern. And so I'm putting this out there, one, as a future testimony for myself, right? But also because I want to encourage people to be more truthful about your transition, because as you're truthful about your transition, you will realize that you are not Elijah. You are not the only one. I love you all so much, and I'll talk to you later.